how it could be pulled together and made more uniform. And one of the big things, of course, that came out through that whole area was connectivity. And it's the thing that the BIAs have been talking about for years. And also with better usage of the waterfront, the connectivity has been a big issue, is getting that connectivity from the downtowns to the waterfront, foot traffic back and forth. And it's been a big issue. And there's so many little pockets of areas in this city. The square is a separate area, the cotton mills are a separate area, the DBIAs are separate areas, Watertown is a separate area, and then there's parts that don't even fit into any area because they're in between all of them. So after the streetscape, when we were discussing with some of the city admin, one I believe Norm had brought up that in order to really put some of the stuff into action, what we really need is to have a proper urban design done up officially for the entire area. And so we got talking about that quite a bit, and we decided to go ahead and start looking at that, and that's what this is about. So to take a look at doing a proper urban design with professional design, so taking a look at the entire Centertown area, which basically goes from the bridge through to the college, including the BIAs and the waterfront areas. This does not look at usage of land, which is a big thing, that's the planning department's area, but it looks at a uniform design that concentrates on the lack of connectivity in certain areas, but still holds the uniqueness of some areas like Le Village and the waterfront, etc. So that's what we're starting to look at. So I think it would definitely be prudent if waterfront was involved in this from the beginning, since so much of that area touches on the waterfront, and the connectivity to the waterfront is a big deal with that. So I passed out just a really quick little synopsis of what we're looking at so far. So you can read it through at your leisure. It's very short. It's just just grab the basics of the proposal so far. This is a proposal of a urban design company, EDA. Nothing has been decided on or going forward as yet. This is simply being presented to the different committees, the different groups. We've already looked at it through Heart of the City, through Centertown, and through BIA to a small degree. It has to go a little further with BIA. So far there's been really good and positive, I think pretty much unanimous approval of the concept at least. And that's where we are right now, is the concept of whether or not we do this. So it would involve all the areas, as I said, Le Village, BIA, Cornwall Square, Cotton Mills, Waterfront, and look at the links between the two BIAs, and then also the links down to the water, which is a big and very important step of this. It would be based on, obviously, stages, because any potential design that was agreed on and approved through council would be, some of it would be capital cost and would have to go in certain stages. Some things could be done quickly with minimal effort. Some things would have to fit into the long-term budgeting and planning of public works. So stage funding would go right from the bridge to the college and then up to the top of the DBA itself. So it would be conceptual streetscape design and plan and vision. So we're not talking as extensive as something like the floor I looked at, but more a streetscape design, uniform look through the entire area. The rest of this is really just the work plan, and the fees are, well, they haven't been negotiated yet. That's just a suggestion from the potential company that was looking at this. And then the different phases of implementation. Phase 4, of course, is actually starting the real work. Phase 1 to 3 is what is probably the most important part for us, which is getting involved in the groundwork of the issues of the waterfront, concerns of the waterfront, goals, purposes, strategies, etc. from the beginning. So I just want to open that up, that this is something that's being looked at currently. It's being presented to the different stakeholders currently, which waterfront is one. And open up for any questions or concerns or comments on it.
Questions?
So have you formed this team yet, or is
Not
it
yet.
just in the process?
It's preliminary right now.
So
it has not been formed.
How do you plan proceeding to?
If the different stakeholders do agree that this is something we do want to go ahead with, which includes the waterfront. Then a group representing those groups would be, basically a subcommittee of all the groups would be formed as a vision strategy.
So are you planning on having a member of our planning department in there? I think it would be advantageous to do that.
Ken is already,
attended,
Ken and Norm are, sorry, they were in the initial couple of meetings. So Ken Bedford and Norm Levac have already been involved and will continue to be involved if this goes ahead.
Is Michelle part of this? Because a lot of this is what's been done last year with the Queenston.
The streetscape was done last year from Centertown.
Yeah.
This is taking what they started and going to the next level. So the streetscape brought up a lot of issues that we were facing. The next step is, now what do we do? How do we fix that, but also incorporate it into all of the areas, not just taking little sections and doing different things.
So your budget, would it, is it dependent upon council supplying the budget, or?
No, not necessarily. The budget is, there's a certain amount of money is already allocated for certain projects, which could be this. So as it currently sits, and this is not determined yet, as it currently sits, it's not a request of council for money. We can find it through other things that are already existing and waiting for a.
Okay, I was going to say, if it's look for grants, and there's a timely issue there for sure.
Yes. So that's not how it's foreseen as right now.
Eric, would you say that the streetscape was more like, last year we discovered the why and the what, and at least professional urban planners will tell us how to do it well?
I think that's a good way of looking at it. We do not currently, we know there's some issues, and I don't think too many people disagree with that. But to do it properly, I mean, everyone has some ideas how to do it, but to have someone come in and give the entire picture of how do we now get to that next step of having a uniform looking, cohesive, connected Centertown and waterfront is the next step.